I'm sitting at my son's 60th birthday party last month, watching him stress about whether the catering would arrive on time and if his boss was going to show up. 60 years old, still performing for people who won't remember his name in 5 years. I wanted to grab him by the shoulders and say, "Michael, stop. You're running out of runway, and you don't even see it." I'm Richard. I'm 85 years old, and from where I'm sitting now, I can see so clearly what matters and what doesn't. Your 50s and 60s, that's not the warm-up. That's the main event, and most people sleepwalk right through it. There's a point past 50, maybe even sooner, when you start seeing how much time you spent chasing things that never actually mattered. That's not regret, that's clarity. And clarity is one of the few gifts age hands you for free if you're honest enough to take it. Here's what no one tells you. Your 50s and 60s feel like middle age. They're not. Do the math. They're the last 2 decades where you have full capacity, energy, health, real choices. After that, options start closing whether you're ready or not. That's not pessimism. That's just arithmetic. And I'm not here to lecture you. I made every single mistake I'm about to describe. Every one. I'm here because I wish someone had grabbed me by the shoulders 40 years ago and said exactly what I'm about to say to you. By the end of this, you'll see exactly where your time is leaking, and more importantly, you'll have permission to stop. Because most of what's stealing your 50s and 60s isn't bad luck. It's not circumstances, it's choices. Choices you don't even realize you're making. Waste number 1. Postponing joy for someday. The first waste is the one that cost me the most, and I didn't even see it happening until it was too late. My wife Eleanor and I had a drawer in our kitchen, not a junk drawer, a dream drawer. Travel brochures, Italy, Greece, the Amalfi Coast, New Zealand. 30 years of next summer, and when things settle down, and after the kids are through college. She died at 71. Heart attack. No warning. I went to Italy 3 years later, stood on a balcony overlooking the ocean she'd always wanted to see, and I saw it through grief instead of wonder. Every beautiful thing felt like an accusation. We delay joy because we think we're being responsible, sensible, adult. But here's what I learned too late. Joy isn't a reward you earn at the end. It's fuel for the journey. And the journey has an expiration date nobody tells you about. Stop saving your life for later. Later is a lie you keep telling yourself to avoid living now. Book the trip. Take the class. Use the nice dishes on a Tuesday. Someday isn't on the calendar. Today is. And today is all any of us actually have. That drawer of brochures taught me about postponing joy. But the corner office taught me something even more painful about the second waste. If you have your own drawer, your own someday you keep postponing, I'd like to hear about it. Leave a comment, and if this is hitting home, subscribe. There's more I need to tell you. Waste number 1, postponing joy for someday. Waste number 2, still caring what people think. This one might sting, because if you're honest with yourself, you're probably still doing it. I know my son Michael is. I spent my entire 50s chasing a promotion I didn't even want. Director of operations, corner office, reserved parking. I thought that's what successful was supposed to look like. Everyone would see it. Everyone would know I'd made it. I got the promotion, hated every minute. 3 years of my life trading peace for a nameplate that's probably in a landfill now. And here's the thing that kills me. I watched my son do the exact same thing at his birthday party. 60 years old, worried about whether his boss showed up. Still performing, still auditioning for approval from people who won't remember his name in 2 years. By your 50s, your reputation is already set. The people who matter already know exactly who you are. The people who don't, they never will, no matter how hard you perform for them. That's not cynicism, that's freedom, if you're willing to take it. Compete with who you were 5 years ago, not with people playing completely different games with completely different rules. If you're more grounded, more at peace, more yourself than you were at 45. Congratulations. You're winning in ways most people will never understand. The freedom to stop performing, that's the real promotion. And no one can give it to you. You have to give it to yourself. Caring what people think cost me a promotion I never wanted. But the next waste cost me something I can never get back. My brother. Waste number 3. Carrying grudges past their expiration date. If there's someone you haven't spoken to in years, a sibling, an old friend, someone you loved, this one's going to be uncomfortable. I need you to hear it anyway. I didn't speak to my brother Frank for 12 years. Business deal gone wrong. Money and pride and principle all tangled together until I couldn't tell which was which anymore. I was right, by the way, about the money, about the deal, about all of it. I had the receipts. I had the moral high ground. Frank died in 2019, and you know what? I can't even remember what the money was for anymore. But I remember 12 years of silence. I remember not being at his bedside. I remember the phone call from his wife. I was right about everything, and I'd give anything to be wrong and have my brother back. Grudges feel like strength, like you're protecting yourself, like you're holding the line. But they're not armor, they're anchors. And the older you get, the heavier they become, until one day you realize you've been dragging them around for years, and the person you were protecting yourself from is gone. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about setting down the bag you've been carrying so long you forgot it wasn't part of you. You don't have time to stay enemies with people you once loved. The clock is running out for both of you. Call them. Today. Not tomorrow. Not when you figure out what to say. Today. You might be right about everything, but ask yourself, would you rather be right, or would you rather have them back? I lost my brother to a grudge, but the next waste, that one just made me foolish, and it's probably cluttering your garage right now. Waste number 4. Collecting things instead of experiences. This one's almost funny. Almost, if it weren't so expensive. I spent my 60s upgrading everything. Better car every 3 years, kitchen renovation that took 8 months, a boat, because that's what successful retired men have apparently. You want to know how many times I used that boat? Twice. Twice in 4 years. And every month it sat in storage. I paid for the privilege of owning something I never touched. I'm 85 now. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. The boat is gone. The car is gone. The fancy kitchen belongs to someone else. And not a single object from those spending years came with me. You know what did come with me? Memories. And I wish I'd made more of them. Things require maintenance, insurance, storage, worry. Experiences just become part of who you are. No one at 85 wishes they bought more furniture. Trust me on this. They wish they'd gone more places, tried more things, said yes more often. Spend your money on plane tickets, not possessions. Every object you buy is something you'll eventually have to get rid of. Every experience is something no one can take from you. Fill your photo album, not your garage. The boat was just money. Expensive, but replaceable. The last waste isn't like that. The last one haunts me. Because words you don't say, those you can never get back. Waste number 5. Leaving things unsaid. This is the one that wakes me up at 3 a.m. And if you're avoiding a conversation right now, with a parent, a child, someone you love, I need you to stop avoiding it. Today. I never told my father I forgave him. He wasn't a bad man, but he was hard, distant. And I spent years being angry about the childhood I thought I deserved, but didn't get. Somewhere in my 50s, I stopped being angry. I understood him. I forgave him. But I never said so. I kept waiting for the right moment, the right words. He died thinking I was still angry. I wasn't, but he never knew that. And I have to live with that silence for the rest of my life. And Eleanor, my wife, I never told her often enough that she was my whole world. I thought she knew. Maybe she did, but I'll never be certain. And that uncertainty follows me everywhere. We avoid hard conversations because they're uncomfortable, awkward. We tell ourselves there's always more time, but here's what no one tells you. The words you don't say become the heaviest words of all. Silence feels safe. It's actually the biggest risk you can take. Say it now, today, out loud, to their face if you can. Tell people what they mean to you while they're still here to hear it. The conversation you're avoiding, that's the one that matters most. That's the one you'll regret skipping. Pick up the phone, drive to their house, write the letter. Do it today, because someday has a way of turning into too late. I know this might sound heavy, like I'm trying to scare you. I'm not. I'm trying to wake you up. Because your 50s and 60s are a gift. A gift most people don't appreciate until it's already unwrapped and gone. Postponing joy. Performing for people who don't matter. Carrying grudges that only weigh you down. Collecting things instead of experiences. Leaving the most important words unsaid. These are the leaks. This is where your time goes when you're not paying attention. At that birthday party, I did pull Michael aside. Told him to stop performing. Told him nobody at that party would matter in 10 years. He laughed. Said, "Okay, Dad, the way you say it when you're not really listening. But maybe later, alone, at 2 a.m. when the house is quiet. Maybe he'll hear it. Maybe he'll change something before it's too late." I can't get my decades back. The brochures stayed in the drawer too long. The boat sits in someone else's storage now. My brother's grave doesn't hold the conversations we should have had. But you, if you're hearing this in your 50s or 60s, you still have the runway. You can still change course. You can still say the thing, take the trip, drop the grudge, stop performing. Your 50s and 60s aren't the waiting room. They're the last window that's wide open. Don't spend them waiting for a someday that never comes. That's all I've got. I'm going to call Michael now. Not because I have anything important to say, just because I still can. Just to hear his voice. And if you know someone in their 50s or 60s who needs to hear this, someone who's still postponing, still performing, still carrying weight that isn't theirs, send this to them. Sometimes the wake-up call has to come from the outside. I'll see you in the next one.